Hello? Okay, we live. Yeah, it's your boy Carcino here. Let's get into the stupidest beef I've ever heard of. 3-6 Mafia versus Bone Thugs and Harmony. Y'all wouldn't believe, like, this beef went on for years due to stupidity. I mean, really, this has got to be one of the dumbest beefs ever. First off the bat, let's get this straight. The fans started this beef. Just like they do most of the stuff, the fans created this entire beef that didn't even exist. And what happened was, first off, let me explain to those who may not even know who these people are. The 3-6 Mafia, okay? They are one of the most creative, demonic groups from the South, from Memphis. It was a lot of groups at that time that came out, but they were based off of 3-6 Mafia. They were the first ones. When they were the Backyard Boys, used to do their little shows, and they were doing the same stuff they doing now. Then. And nobody really liked that sound. They called themselves, everything switched around to like, yo, my posse. When NWA came out, and the posse, and this is my posse's on Broadway and all that stuff. So they switched to calling themselves the Backyard Posse instead of the Backyard Boys. Bone Thugs, this is back in 91 for both of them. They came out with their album, their little album that they recorded. They was called the Band-Aid Boys. And they was all Band-Aids and all that stuff. And they were the Band-Aid Boys. So what happened was, after that, they started recording for real. They switched their names to Bone. Booted out niggas every day. And recorded Faces of Death. They recorded, neither one even heard of each other. Who would? One's in Memphis, the other one's in Cleveland, Ohio. They never heard it. It wasn't like the tapes are blowing up, so nobody even knew each other. To say, he stole my style. So when Bone gets signed by Eazy-E, of course, and then they come up creeping on the come up, and people in Memphis are looking at everything that they've done as far as 3-6 Mafia is concerned, they like, whoa, what is this? And they looking at 3-6 Mafia, and I'm like, what is the problem here? Like, what's going on? These dudes are still in y'all style. These are the fans. So Bone is just doing their shows, going there doing, their little performances off the EP. They ain't even released the whole album yet. It's just an EP release. But Thuggish Ruggish Bone was everywhere. So they doing their tours. They came to Memphis and they getting booed. And they like, what is this? Like, why are we being booed in Memphis? And they calling us fake and all this stuff. And they ain't understand it. Nobody knew what was going on, what the problems was. So when Music Style came out, that was like the first major release that they had, even though they had their mixtape stuff. Music Style came out in 95. And they had East 99 come out in 95. And when East 99 came out and blew up the way it did and selling all them records, they really was living. So they used to do their tours, and every time they ended up seeing them at one of the shows. They was like, oh, they gonna come, Bone showing up in here? Cool, we gonna be here. And they get into words and pushing each other and shoving and security and all that. They trying to get the Bone. Like, well, who are these dudes? We don't even know these guys. So to them, it was on. It was on with everybody. And when the last album came out, because of the success of East 1999 selling 8 million records, everybody wanted a piece of Bone after that. And like Crazy said, a fan sent them a letter saying, man, these dudes from Memphis is down here dissing you. They called the 3-6 Mafia. And it was like, who are these guys? We don't even know their music. They didn't. Then on the album The End, they was dissing. Then when they came with World Domination, in 97, they was dissing Bone. So things started to escalate. Even in 98, when the group was starting to go in like other directions and put out solo records, Busy dissed them on, because they had to tear the club up, and they had to tear the club up, thugs. They were aware of each other now. More aware of each other. So Busy puts out a line talking about burning the roof is on fire. And F the 6 and everything else. So he was still in it. Like, he was like, look, it's on. I don't really care about that. You dissing me, we dissing you back. And then, of course, you know, they went after Twista and all them. They had them saying the same thing. And that was another beef fans created. And like Crazy was saying to them, like, when he talked to Twista, like, dude, what is this? This is dumb. Who can rap the fastest? Really? We battling over that? We beefing over who can rap the fastest. How stupid is that? Because it made no sense. And everybody cooler heads prevailed, and then Project Pat really put all this stuff to bed. Like, man, look, kill all that. Let's get this money, man. I like them dudes, Bones, man. We gonna hook up with them, man. We gonna talk to them, because Pat is Juicy J's big brother. So he gonna put all that to Pat, and Pat ain't got time for that. Pat about real stuff. He ain't got time to do all this fake beef stuff, and because everybody in Memphis start piling on. That was the problem. All these other groups that came up off 3-6, and like it was the Dayton family. You had what's that guy, Lorenzo Wright or something, the third, and he had a couple of good tapes. He had a funny one. I mean, his albums were hilarious. Like, some of the stuff he was putting in there was hilarious. But I'm like, this dude gonna go to jail. One of the fans that watch my beef videos actually sent me the link to the song he got dissing Bone. So I'm quite sure you can find it on YouTube, because I saw it on YouTube too, and I laughed then too. But this guy had mixtapes, and it's a lot of them groups in Memphis. Almost all of them are dead. That's something nobody really know too. But almost all of them are dead. I used to buy their CDs, they disc tapes. They would all find their ways into Coops Underground. Swear to God, they would always find their way into Coops Underground. I don't know how they got it. I'm like, how did you get these tapes? And I used to always buy them for Dom. Dom is Bone Thugs, him and John, Straight Bone, 3-6 Mafia, anything underground. They was raised on it. They was, give me that. I'll be like, I'll get it for you. I'll go buy it up. Every mixtape that came in, boom, bought. They was like, dude, you buy all this stuff underground. I'm like, hey, they love it. They want to hear it. They gave me the money for it. There it is. Then I'll play it. I'll be like, man, this ain't really, bad. Some of these songs, and this guy is just hilarious. This Lorenzo Wright. But it was creating an atmosphere where something was going to probably happen to Bone. They had to stop doing shows in Memphis until this thing got resolved, because the other club promoters, they was coming at the promoters like, dude, don't book no Bone here no more. It was on like that. They gotta live there. So I think they ended up working with Project Pat or something like that, and Bone did. They did some work together, and everything was resolved. Gangsta Boo got on what's his name album, that We Starving on Crazy album, and her lyrics was like, look, Crazy paying me some money to be on here. I know y'all mad I'm doing this song with Crazy, but he paying me. So her lyrics is like, whoa. Like, my goodness. Girl, you about to kick the beef right back off. Like, don't do that. Because they won a Grammy for His Heart Out Here for a Pimp back in 2005. And then they had the Stay Fly song. So once you win a Grammy for His Heart Out Here for a Pimp on Hustle and Flow, and everybody out there loving your records, everybody thinking you making millions and millions of dollars. So they thinking like, where's the money? And they like, well, this is the money. You know, we got some fame now, but the money still came pouring in. One like Hollywood was beating their door down for soundtracks. So they learned the part of the business that is very rarely taught. Is that when you got too many members in the group, it's hard to feed everybody. And when somebody don't get their money on time, this is the results. People freak out. And what needed to be added also as a side note, that 3-6 Mafia, you know, of course, you know, 666 and all that stuff, couldn't use the phrase 666 because that would align them with the Gangster Disciples, who has a division called the 666 Folks. Now, if you 666 Folks, that means you are in the upper echelon of the Gangster Disciples. And there's only so many that are chosen to be 666 Gangster Disciples back in those days when there was a clergy system. Now, 3-6 Mafia understood they can't use 666. So whether they were aware of that notion of it, they knew to just say we 3-6 and not 666. But nevertheless, every gangster disciple that I know on the face of this planet had that CD. Anything they made, the Gangster Disciples was holding them down for sure. Worldwide. That's it. That's all.